Have you ever used that Uber Eats app? If not, download the app on your phone and I'll give you $7 off your first order. That's right, $7. All you have to do is enter the code EATS-BRIANT24790UE. You can order from McDonald's, Popeyes, or some of your favorite local restaurants and they'll deliver it right to your door. Remember, download the app, Uber Eats, enter the code EATS-BRIANT24790UE and get $7 off your first order.
Shootin The Shiznit is sponsored by SpunkLube.com. SpunkLube is an award-winning personal lubricant that's fun. SpunkLube is available in 4 varieties: hybrid, pure silicone, natural, and pink. Place your order today at SpunkLube.com and tell them Shootin The Shiznit sent you.
Are you in the Las Vegas area? Join us for the 15th Annual Erotica Awards. That's right. Spunk Lube's been nominated Best Lube. Join us. Presented by ASN Lifestyle Magazine, January the 22nd. Be there!
Anyone can suffer from recurrent or punctual erectile dysfunction due to stress, fatigue, or medical conditions. Stop feeling bad about it. Have better sex with proven solutions. Blue Chew can now offer you the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis at a fraction of the price, discreetly delivered to your door. Just pick the package that matches your needs and make sure you never get caught off guard at the moment you least want it. Blue Chew will help you gain your confidence back in the most convenient way. No waiting rooms, no appointments required, no embarrassing face-to-face meeting with your doctor. Your online prescription will be approved within 24 hours. You're just minutes away from a heightened sex life. Your performance will be as great as your dreams.
Use promo code STS. Get your first month free. All you have to do is pay postage and handling. Now on with the show. Hey, before we get into the show, I just want you to know we want you. Right, subscribe to Patreon for only $1, guys. In 2019, we posted every episode uncut before the release. And over 30 B-side shows exclusively, that's right, exclusively for Patreon. It's only $1, guys, and that's patreon.com/Shootin The Shiznit without a G. Now we're going to hear from American Hostile Championship Wrestling and then on with the show. American Hostile Championship Wrestling presents Hammering Hearts. That's right, February the 8th. 7:30 p.m. Doors open at 6:30 in New Madrid, Missouri. It's at the Eagles Club on 410 U.S. Highway 61. Golden Road tickets are $12. Silver, $11. Bronze, $10. General admission, $8. That's right, Hammering Hearts. You'll see Rude, Jason Vaughn, Gavin Tice, Chris Hayes, Ethan Steele, Austin Bolo, The Family, Missouri Bad Boys, Jack Parker, Derek the King, making their AHCW debut. It's the Posse. That's right, Chris and Simon will be there. All titles will be defended. Be there! New Madrid, Missouri, February the 8th, 7:30 p.m. at the Eagles Pub, Hammer and Heights, American Hostile Championship Wrestling. Call Mark for tickets at 636-232-3313. Roseboro, Arkansas. That's right. And I have in the studio again, actually he's in his car driving, and I have requested him not to use his blinker because we'll hear it. It's Dustin 5-star. That's right, 5-star for his 6th appearance on Shootin The Shiznit. Yeah, it includes a Patreon episode. So, yeah, you're going to be a superstar before it's over with now if you stick with me, kid.
Well, and I promise I'm not going to use my blinker, and also I'm using a hands-free telephone here, so...
Right on. See, guys, no blinkers. So if you hear, a squealing of the brakes and we have to go, then I'm sorry about that. Hey, I want to ask you something, and it just came to me. Has absolutely nothing to do with wrestling, but Lance and I had a Patreon episode where we were talking about language and how people say words in this area. I know you have 5 fingers, not fingers, but fingers on your hand, and you did. I know, Dustin, that you have washed your clothes. So, but what I want to know is, you don't have the accent, man. You don't. How do you do it? How do you have the television voice? Because you do Channel 30, and you and your wife both of you guys from this area, right?
Yes, absolutely. Born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. All I wanted to do was watch USWA Memphis Wrestling and be on that program. And I have no idea, man. I think it's just working in people tell me all the time. A guy called me the Velvet Voice the other day.
Right.
And I looked at Maria and I said, I'm going to remember that. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't think I'm that good at it. I don't like ring announcing, and I'm doing more PA work and voiceovers and stuff, but I don't believe that I'm that good. So I'm like, I'm just going to fake it till I make it. They're paying me,
Yeah, hell yeah.
But I think during the time where I was really trying to get signed with WWE back, 2008, 9, and I finally got signed in 10, is I started going to their camps and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things that JR told us at one of our practice sessions was that if you sound Southern, they think you're dumb. Now, I had already heard that before, because if you listen to Jerry Lawler way back when Monday Night Raw started and you listen to him now, it's totally different. You listen to Booker T back in the day and you listen to Booker T now, he's a prime example. And I know that he's kept some of his flavor, but he's much more articulate. And so I think that's just in the business. They don't want you to sound Southern. And I don't know, man. We just I've read to myself out loud a lot, leading up to doing all this work, and I think that really helped. And also Brady, I read to Brady, my son, he's 11 now, but I read to him every single night before bed all the way up until, just a couple of years ago. It was one of my favorite things to do.
That's you weird, think that, what about him? What does he have? See, I got 3 daughters, and the oldest daughter doesn't have the accent, but she tried. She tried to keep it. The other 2, the middle daughter's real country. But the youngest. But do you think Brady's gonna? It's just so weird that you don't sound. Me and you don't sound alike, and we're born and raised an hour apart.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, some of our relatives that don't see Brady until, holidays, we don't have relatives that we keep in touch with, but we don't see, but a couple of times a year, they say, well, we can tell that you guys read to him, just because I don't think he has that much of it, but probably a little bit. I don't know. I've never really paid attention.
I told you it had nothing to do with wrestling. I hope everyone enjoyed that. We do sometimes on Patreon we'll start talking about things like that, but then I thought about you today, right? We got through texting, and I was laughing about the finger joke. So I was like, and then my mom always says "whoosh." So I was like, Dustin, wash your clothes. Dustin has.
Think of this too. I'm doing emceeing at the Redbirds at AutoZone Park, or doing it at FedEx Forum. There's an echo, so if you talk too fast, or if your words kind of go together real fast, then they can't understand anything you're saying. So you kind of got to slow it down and articulate a little better. So the PA, when it goes out, it doesn't. You can actually understand what the person's saying. So maybe that's it too with that. Especially at AutoZone Park, you can barely hear yourself talk because the echo is so good because it's outdoors.
Right. Well, you was talking about, the Southern accent. I've been in call center work. I'm in management now, so I don't have to take calls, but I've been doing that for about 6 years now. And I had a person tell me he didn't want to speak to anyone stupid from Arkansas. So there you go.
Yeah.
They do think you're stupid with the accent. He was from New York, so you want to. All right,
that was. Hey, real quick, that was good old JR telling us that, the most country Southern dude there is. But he was like, "Hey, man, they think you're dumb, so don't talk like that."
Oh, that's crazy that it would be him saying it. Yeah, because he's always got that, they got rid of him because he was older and he's more Southern, So, we had a lot of things. I think the last time we talked was in July, believe it or not. And there's some things going on. You continue to do championship wrestling every Saturday. Tell me about that. Tell me, is it going as good as it was? And tell everybody how to watch it, because you can also watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, so anybody listening, I get a lot of comments like, "Oh, I missed the show," or "How do I catch the show? I'm out of the viewing area." No, man, we have a really strong viewing area on CW30 every Saturday at noon. We have a brand new episode. Now, also at the same time, not only does our TV reach out to Jonesboro, Jackson, Tennessee, Tupelo, Mississippi, and you can even watch it beyond that, depending on how strong your signal is. But you just go to YouTube, type in @CW30 Wrestling, and we come right up. Every single episode is there in full. Also, there's exclusive interviews that sometimes the show is jam-packed, man. Last week, we had an interview that was about 6.5 minutes long with the executive vice president and the chief brand officer of AEW. You might know him, Cody and Brandi Rhodes. So there were a couple of promos that had to go out, but then they were inserted as web exclusives. So if you check our social media, we try to kind of mirror it to like a WWE, where even if you don't see every single show, you know what's going on. And you'll also be familiar with the guys that are on our show. This week alone, we have Ricky Starks from the NWA. Last week we had Question Mark and Thunder Rosa. Zicky Dice is on the program coming up, I believe, next week. So there are a lot of really familiar wrestlers that we have on our program. MJF, Luchasaurus, and even Scorpio Sky just had his farewell match a couple of episodes ago, maybe a couple of months ago now. Royce Isaacs is the United TV champion, and he's an NWA Tag Team champion or former NWA Tag Team champion. But you can watch anywhere you are on YouTube at CW30 Wrestling. And, man, since the last time we talked, all we've done is grown, man. Our social reach is getting bigger and bigger. I think last month in December, we had 335,000 minutes watched on YouTube, which is tremendous, especially considering that we're only 41 episodes old. And, I always tell you that we're working on something big. I got some big news for you, BT.
Always. Well, you've been that way ever. I think the first time we met was it was probably your first match, and you pulled me to the side that night, and you said, "Look, man, I got some big news." And I said, "Who the hell are you?"
Oh, no.
Now, Dustin, I'm going to ask you something, and I want you to tell the audience, because I know how big of a star you turn out to be, but that very night, that first night that you wrestled, I was over more than you, right? You got to tell my audience.
But that was the only time that you were ever more over than me, was on my first night.
All right, I'll take that.
I was literally terrified in that locker room, and then once I got in the ring for the first time, it was like, man, I got to do it again. I was hooked. I loved it.
I remember doing some of the worst TV ever, and I don't know if you remember that Jonesboro had television. It was Rampage Championship Wrestling. Do you remember that?
BT, on my podcast last week, on the Championship Wrestling podcast presented by Be Free CBD, I just talked about one of the questions from the mailbag was the fewest people you've ever wrestled in front of. And that was a Rampage Championship Wrestling show. Do I remember Rampage? Heck yeah, I remember Rampage.
Was you on we wrestled in Wiener one night. Was you in Wiener?
Oh, my God. I think I was. I was in all of those. And you guys all hated us because we were from the Power Pro Wrestling, school or whatever. And a lot of the guys were, like, kind of bitter about that because we got our start over there at the TV studio at Channel 5.
Well, Randy was smart, even with you guys being from the PowerPoint, Power Plant or whatever the hell y'all call it, the training over there at Power Pro. He didn't want y'all to come in and do jobs to a bunch of us nobodies. And so that was.
I don't remember. I weighed 140 pounds. I don't remember any of that. Everybody beat me, man.
Yeah, but it was.
I don't remember that, but I
remember
remember there was a little bit of animosity, I think, towards that, though. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just one of those things where if you're, and I understood that. I understand that now. I don't know if I really understood that then. So, hey, let's take a quick commercial, and we come back. You say you got big news, so I'm going to let you talk about big news. So, coming right back, guys.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Have you ever used that Uber Eats app? If not, download the app on your phone and I'll give you $7 off your first order. That's right, $7. All you have to do is enter the code EATS-BRINT24790UE. You can order from McDonald's, Popeyes, or some of your favorite local restaurants and they'll deliver it right to your door. Remember, download the app, Uber Eats, enter the code EATS-BRINT24790UE and get $7 off your first order.
Shootin The Shiznit is sponsored by SpunkLube.com. SpunkLube is an award-winning personal lubricant that's fun. SpunkLube is available in 4 varieties: hybrid, pure silicone, natural, and pink. Place your order today at SpunkLube.com and tell them Shootin The Shiznit sent you.
Are you in the Las Vegas area? Join us for the 15th Annual Erotica Awards. That's right. Spunk Lube's been nominated Best Lube. Join us. Presented by ASN Lifestyle Magazine, January the 22nd. Be there!
This is your bedroom. This is your bedroom with Blue Chew. Blue Chew uses the same active ingredients as in Viagra or Cialis, but now comes in chewable form. Chewable means better, cheaper, and works faster than pills.
I've tried Cialis, I've tried Viagra. Blue Chew works the best. It's a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's definitely gotten the job done.
No in-person doctor visit, no waiting in line, no more awkwardness.
Blue Chew allowed me to have more sexual freedom because it kicked in and worked faster.
Ordering Blue Chew is an absolute no-brainer for any man.
Blue Chew makes my girlfriend, want to put up with me in bed.
I felt like I did when I didn't have ED.
Order online to get your first month free.
I want my girlfriend to want me, and with Blue Chew, she really does. Blue Chew is the future of manhood.
That's BLUE chew.com. Promo STS, and you get to try it for free.
Wow.
I hear you.
Wow.
All right, back for commercial. We'll thank Blue Chew, Spunk Lube, the guys over there, Uber Eats, and American Hostile Championship Wrestling. I've got Dustin 5-Star. Dustin, you keep teasing me. You text me. You said we got some big news. So give me the big news.
Well, I can't give you the big news just yet. The big news I can give you is that I've got big news coming, and I really mean that. The best I can give you right now is that Championship Wrestling, presented by Pro Shingle, is almost ready for their first big live event. Now, I know we've done watch parties and pre-parties, and we've done some little pop-up events with some of our sponsors and some of our clients and partners and everything, just to kind of get our whistle wet, But there's something real big that's going to happen in Memphis, Tennessee, coming up. And it hasn't been done here in a long time. And there's a lot of little pop-up shows here and there, and there's a lot of little small companies that run around town. That's cool, man. But this will be something that everybody is going to enjoy. This is going to be something that every wrestling fan that's listening right now will want to be at. And it's going to be live, and it's going to be in Memphis, and it's going to be on Memphis television.
Awesome. I like to hear that. We talked about this when you first got started about what you could do and not do, and it would be exciting to see you go beyond the TV show and doing some stuff. I've got to talk. You mentioned it just a minute. You mentioned Cody and Brandi. I was big smile on my face with that picture of Cody and Brandi to one side, you and Maria on the other side. Talk to me about meeting Cody. Had you ever met Cody before, and how was your dealings with him on this AEW thing?
One of the things that didn't make air when we first were getting mic'd up and everything in studio was real early in the morning, and I was able to share with Cody that I was there working with developmental when he, his brother Dustin, and his father Dusty all tag teamed together in a 6-man tag team match in Florida at FCW against the Dude Busters with Kurt Hawkins. And he leaned his head back and he smiled and he goes, "Oh man, that was the only time that we all got to tag team together."
Oh, wow.
And so that was kind of a little thing. And then also when we're, kind of sitting down and we're not really goofing off, but just kind of talking to each other, because we were familiar with each other, obviously. When they came to town, we kind of helped them with different media and all that kind of stuff. But let's see, we were sitting there. I was going to tell you a story, and then it slipped my mind because I'm thinking it was so crazy that entire morning. It was so early. And we just talked about some of the guys from the Championship Wrestling and Scorpio Sky, MJF, Peter Avalon, all those guys came through Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and he had nothing but great things to say about all those people. But we're sitting there, and we're about 30 seconds before we go on, and I said, "Cody, Brandi, we really appreciate you guys coming in. There's a lot of wrestling fans that have watched us and have kept up with me and Maria for a really long time that are going to love to see us on the same television screen together across from one another." And I didn't mean that to be cocky. I have heard that so many times about Miz and Maurice or Cody and Brandi, and to actually have them in studio and have them on our show and have a good, fun interview too. It was a shoot interview. It's not like wrestling promo interview. It's totally a different pace where we just talked, and we talked about couples in the business and everything else. So it was a lot of fun, but it was good to touch base with those guys. And then we went over and did an interview at FedEx Forum with Grind City Wrestling over there, and that was a lot of fun because, of course, they had to make fun of my hair and everything else. So if you haven't listened to that interview, it's really good. It's only about 12 minutes long, very easy to listen to. But, man, they were very, very cool when they came in. Later that night, we had the Young Bucks having a super kick party on the court at the Memphis Grizzlies game. So it was awesome.
I seen that, and Tony Khan was there. Did you get to shake hands with Tony Khan and tell him, "Hey, I need some of that money"?
Absolutely. Well, part of that anyway. So we're about 30 seconds from going live, right? We're going to go out and do this bit with the Young Bucks, and I get a text from Excalibur and Tony Khan. So we're on all these group texts and everything all day long, and they're like, "We can't get in with our backpacks." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can't get you in with your backpacks right now. Like, I'm about to go on." So
right.
Shout out to Amon, Grizz's assistant, for running up and giving them some credentials to get them in. So they were very, grateful, and man, they just really welcomed us at AEW in South Haven at Lander Center. Like, after the show, we went back, and Tony Khan and Brandi and Cody, just everybody, the entire staff was just fantastic, arms open to us. So it was really cool.
Who else on that roster are you friends with? I know the answer to this, but that you know really well.
Gosh, man, there's quite a few of them back there that I'm really familiar with.
I heard you got embarrassed. See, I find out everything. I heard you got embarrassed.
Are you talking about Justin Roberts?
Yeah.
Oh man, so Maria, we're sitting there, and the weird thing is back in 2008 or 9, something like that, Justin Roberts came to me backstage at FedEx Forum. I was wrestling that night, and he said, "There's a lot of Dustin Starr signs out there." And I said, "All right, get out of here. I wish, and he's like, no, I'm serious. I thought he was pulling my leg because, they pull ribs all the time.
Right.
I walked out, and when I was in the center of the ring, I wish I had a camera because Memphis really showed up for me that night. There were Dustin Starr signs in the crowd, and I just looked over at him and smiled. So when I saw him, he remembered that. He said, I didn't see any Dustin Starr signs out there this time. And I was, shocked, because that was so long ago. And, of course, Maria, when we're catching up, she's like, Dustin has an impression of you. And I'm like, shut up. And she's like, no, he really does. And I go, no, I really don't. And I may or may not have given him my Justin Roberts impersonation. Oh, it was cool, though. It was really fun.
Good deal. I'm glad people, how you've told me all about this, how you're just rushed in and, they use you, they don't use you when you're backstage. And I've had a bunch of friends back there doing the same thing you did, but it's kind of fun when they actually remember you and say, hey, you did this, you did that. There's kind of,
Diamond Dallas Page walked over and nudged me, and I was shocked. And we worked together and done interviews at the Grizzlies and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, cool.
And so, yeah, man, even for him to remember, and I know people listening to this podcast are like, well, why wouldn't he remember you? Yeah, but come on, man, that's Diamond Dallas Page. I don't expect him to remember Dustin Starr.
And he is up in the age, so, he does forget people. It's something that...
He looked good, though. He looked good in the ring the other day, too, though, for 64. Good grief.
Yeah, he something people that are not around wrestlers on a regular basis don't understand, and being a fan and being the wrestler doing it is totally different until you get around them and you'll go... I remember one of the last times I was around the King, I was asking him about somebody that was in Evansville, and I said, you remember this guy. It was Jeff Osborne. I said, you remember Jeff? Jeff's good for the money, because I was trying to put over something, and Lawler's like, man, I don't remember anything. Jeff who? And so they don't, and matches too. I remember, and I can't remember the person, it was a shoot interview, and then, they told me afterwards, hey, look, this is crazy. They're asking us about a match that happened in, Ashford, Kentucky somewhere, and they want to know why I punched so-and-so in the eye, and what am I supposed to say? And I was like,
Hey, a little cool thing, Matt Jackson actually blocked me on Twitter, and we did a little podcast about it. I have no idea why or how or anything like that. And so I said, all right, guys. I said, okay, guys. It was Young Bucks, Matt Jackson. So I go, hey, guys, go ahead and tweet Matt Jackson right now. You're on your phone. Go ahead and tweet him and ask him why he blocked Dustin Starr. And be sure to tag me so I can get the answer or whatever. And so after enough tweets, he actually did respond. And he said, man, I don't know what I had for breakfast yesterday. How am I going to remember that? They don't remember anything. Seriously. So, by the way, he did unblock me, too, so that's cool. And we didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
I will ask him, though. I will ask him.
Did you do an interview with them guys? You did an interview with them, right?
We did not do an interview with them. We did a skit out on the court.
Just the skit, okay. And
that will air on Championship Wrestling this week on Milestone Part 3, the finale.
Wow, cool deal. Because I actually seen, I guess, a hard copy of it or something on. It was on Twitter there, just a clip, real quick. So, tell me about the Grizz. You always talk about this guy, and he's done all kinds of wrestling stuff. I know when he first started out, you said something to me about this guy, and you said he was a huge fan. But I mean, he takes bumps and everything, right?
Yeah, man. Diamond Dallas Page actually showed him how to do the diamond cutter in the ring at FedEx Forum. So this whole wrestling night and wrestling thing is just it's in the fabric of the DNA of Memphis, and so is basketball. And so the Grizzlies do a great job of meshing the two. We've had a lot of wrestling nights. We don't have a wrestling night per se this year, but you see a lot of the wrestling flavor, whether it's Grizz doing something crazy or there's super kick party on the court or whatever. He's a big wrestling fan. You can actually see wrestling in Grizz, especially Super Grizz. So when Super Grizz hits in the fourth quarter, you can totally see a lot of Triple H, his arm movements and things like that. But he's been a fan a long time. We became friends at the studio back when Corey Macklin had TV. I think it was actually CW studio back then. But and then we just remained friends this whole time. And so I've been fortunate enough to help out the Grizzlies with some of their wrestling booking and picking talent, music, and all that kind of stuff. And me and Grizz actually tag team last year in a match at FedEx Forum during a game at halftime against the Texas Barbecue Boys. Do you know who those guys are?
No, I don't guess I do.
Garrett King and Alan Steele. They were the Texas Barbecue Boys. So we had to get in there and take care of some business.
That's
cool.
awesome, man. That's awesome. You talk. You're always one of the best people about putting over your sponsors and everything. And you talked about Pro Shingles. The spokesman for Pro Shingles was actually on P3 Radio not too long ago. My buddy, Richard, Richard and Josh, his partner there. Mm-hmm. He was on that podcast to talk to those guys, and he put you over big time. Tell us, tell us real quick. How'd you get Dave Brown out of retirement? I know he's getting paid for it, but a lot of guys don't even want to do stuff like that.
Yeah, you're right, and there was no guarantee that Dave wanted to do it, man. Dave, I think, gets up at 10 a.m. He gets to sleep in a little bit now that he's retired. He hangs out on the river a lot, or a lake over at his house. He's got it made. He's one of the most recognizable figures in Memphis, and I've thought for many, many years, if I ever had a television show, there were some ideas that I wanted to do. And fortunately enough, one of my ideas was to link up Pro Shingle because they do storm damage and roofing repair and, fences and painting and everything else. You can check them out at proshingle.com, but you'll also see on proshingle.com Dave Brown.
Right.
So I kind of linked them together on purpose. I had a conversation with each of them separately and see if there was any interest, and they both thought it was a great fit. And so here we are. Dave Brown's on the show every single Saturday, and you'll see him on our social media at CW30 Wrestling, where he's the Pro Shingle spokesperson, man. And
people not in this area, people not in this area, Dustin's going to say, linked them together. Well, he was Dave Brown, the weatherman, too, for many, many years.
Sorry.
So that's okay, but, we got people all over the United States. So he was the weatherman forever, and as soon as they see, I love the thing there with him, and I'm glad that he's, he doesn't look that old either. He just does. Man, hey, the hair's the same color, the whole thing, so.
He is so sharp, too, man. Just being able to work with him and being friends with Lance before he passed away and then being friends with Dave. I talked to Dave the other day, and when he answered the phone, hey, Dustin. So I was like, oh, hey, Dave. It just makes your day better hearing his voice. And just working with him is awesome. Especially I've been able to do play-by-play with him at the Grizzlies, at the Redbirds. And I guess one of my bucket lists is me and Dave to sit down and do some commentary on our wrestling show someday. So we'll see if we can make that happen. But it's always great to see
all right,
Dave
man,
Brown.
we're going to wrap it. I'm cool. Sorry, but we're going to wrap it up right here. But I want you to put over all your stuff. I know you're good at that. So I give you another 10 minutes. No. Go ahead and put all...
Oh, man. So, it's all about Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle, and you can catch it every Saturday at noon on CW30 and on YouTube Premiere. And then all throughout the week, there's usually a brand new video that hits every single day. You can listen every Monday to the Championship Wrestling podcast presented by BeFreeCBD.com. You could save 20% on CBD oils there, and we kind of recap the action and give you some behind-the-scenes stuff, like we had some clips from behind the scenes of the interviews that we did. And then also, I'm at every Memphis Grizzlies game, at every Memphis Hustle game. Baseball season's right around the corner, but I want you guys to follow us at CW30 Wrestling because we have a big announcement that's going to come up here real soon, and you're going to see a lot of guys in the Mid-South in Memphis that you have not seen in a long time or that you've been watching on television and you've been waiting to see live. That's all I got, BT.
Thank you, Dustin. I appreciate it. Guys, same bad time, same bad channel. On the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. Oh, yeah. And as everybody knows, Dustin, I love my mama.
I do, too.
Wait, what? American Hostile Championship Wrestling presents Hammerin' Hard. That's right. February the 8th, 7:30 p.m. Doors open at 6:30 in New Madrid, Missouri. It's at the Eagles Club on 410 U.S. Highway 61. Golden Road tickets are $12. Silver, $11. Bronze, $10. General admission, $8. That's right, Hammering Hearts. You'll see Rude, Jason Vaughn, Gavin Tice, Chris Hayes, Ethan Steele, Austin Bolo, The Family, Missouri Bad Boys, Jack Parker, Derek the King, making their AHCW debut. It's the Posse. That's right, Chris and Simon will be there. All titles will be defended. Be there! New Madrid, Missouri, February the 8th, 7:30 p.m. at the Eagles Club, Hammer and Heights, American Hostile Championship Wrestling. Mark for tickets at 636-232-3313.
Graphic design is very important. Your logo is the first image potential customers see. What kind of impression would you want to make today? Need a podcast logo or a t-shirt design? KT does art. Her name has become synonymous with quality and professionalism in the graphic design community. She specializes in graphic design, painting, and more. She provides affordable commissions and professional quality with a timely delivery. Contact KT via email at kt_doesart@yahoo.com. Check out her Instagram at instagram.com/kt_doesart.
That was another great episode of Shootin' The Shiznit. Looking for contestants for Who Wants to Be the Best Shiznitter Ever? That's right, contact me and be a contestant on Who Wants to Be the Best Shiznitter Ever. A big shout out to our sponsors this month. Also, remember, we have a Patreon for only $1. That's patreon.com, Shootin' The Shiznit without the G. A special thanks to Bob McGee at Pro Wrestling's Between the Sheets, Gene Jackson at locals2legends.com, and Sean Garmer at Wrestling to Max website. You can reach me on Comic Book Mark BT on Twitter, at BT Shootin' The Shiznit on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook with a Shootin' The Shiznit Facebook page. We have the Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk Facebook group. If we don't like you, we'll kick you out, but you also have to ask to get in. All the archives are at www.STSPod.club. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, Podcast Addict, Spreaker, Spotify, and all the fun podcast players. Podcast Roll Call. A big shout out to Creative Control. Keeping it 100. Memphis Memories with Randy Hales and my buddies over there at P3 Radio, Max and Josh. Who's Right podcast with Doug and Anthony. A great non-wrestling podcast. Another one would be Man Brain with my buddy Dave over there. Man Brain podcast. Check them out. Lance's favorite, Suplex City Limits. Suplex City Limits with Jim and the Fudge. Guys, I am Brian Trammell. Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.